All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Coffee Q&A, your daily coffee Q&A here at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Onocoffee Challenge. Jay, your host. What's going on? How y'all doing? Let's get into it. Today's topic, I was looking through, I sometimes read online coffee forums. One of them is the Facebook group called Pour Over Coffee Lovers. And sometimes we get some of the questions and some of the topics from there. And I was going through it, and I came across this post from one of the participants there. And basically, let's here, I'll show it to you now. And she says, "Does this look like 420 light roast coffee? I am so disappointed with this. It is bitter and tastes like black licorice, which I hate. The roaster said the beans are all different shades because of it being mailed here and the heat on the mail truck. I've been thinking about that logic and it doesn't work because why would all the store-bought coffee not be dark if that were the case? Or how do we get green beans here across the ocean? Thoughts?" And so here's the actual image that I pulled from the thread to use for the thumbnail. And, I don't think it's, at least based on this image, and of course there is, a bit of shadowing here. So the lighting isn't the best, but it looks more of a medium roast. And what she's talking about is that there are, you know, these lighter looking beans. Now, this particular coffee, it doesn't say here in the original post, but if you read through the threads, you'll find out that this is actually a coffee from a company called, what's it called? It's called Coffee by the Roast. They're a roaster in what do you call it? In somewhere in Illinois. And this particular coffee that she's buying is the Ethiopian Natural Guji Whoosh Whoosh, which is a Ethiopia coffee that I've actually had in the past. The version that I had was really quite excellent. And this coffee here, as you can see, for the bag size, which I'm not sure what the bag size is, but it's a $42. So it's a it's not a cheap coffee. You can choose a roast level, cinnamon, city, full city, Vienna, and then roaster's choice. Perhaps roaster's choice is the best way to go. They do suggest a city to heighten the floral aroma and winey top notes. And oh yeah, see, each roast is 600 grams of green. You'll receive approximately 18 ounces of coffee. So 18 ounces of the coffee for $43 is not overall is not terrible, right? Not terrible, not cheap, but not terrible. But this is what she got, and she's very unhappy with it. She didn't like the flavor. She said the flavor was off. And I thought that we would have a look at some potential issues that you could experience when you're buying coffees online. And I've got some coffees here that are also natural processed. So one of the things about natural processing is that because of the nature of natural processing, sometimes you'll have coffees that are inconsistent in their flavor because of the inconsistency in density. And I've got a couple here that are actually very nice quality. Let's first look at this one. This is the Finca Garces. This is last year's 2023 winner of the Philippine Quality Coffee Competition. So it's like the highest grade coffee in the Philippines. Craig is with us. What's going on, man? That roaster's website. I didn't really look at the website that much, but it's their response that was a little bit disconcerting to my mind. Okay, so here's one. Now this coffee, gosh, I wish there was a little bit better on the lighting here. Let's see if I can add a little bit more light. Okay, so you can see here, this one is a lot more even and consistent, right? In both terms of the roast profile, which is definitely, it may not look at it online on your screens, but this is actually fairly lightly roasted. Of course, in the Philippines with roasters like the Good Cup Coffee, they're very much into these newer school, lighter roasted styles of coffee that was pioneered by Tim. But that's actually really nice and uniform. There is like slight variations that you can see Like this one bean right here is slightly lighter than this one, but overall the roasting is fairly consistent. Another coffee that we can look at in our quest. This is another coffee from the Philippines. This is one that's produced by Cherry Kabunday, and this is roasted by Coffee Culture, my friends at Coffee Culture in Bacolod, Philippines. Again, this is last year's crop. This is an anaerobic natural now. And again, we can see that there's a more lightly roasted coffee again. You know, all the new school guys, they love the lightly roasted, but you can see a lot better consistency in the coffee. And I don't remember how to change the, I wanted to open up the iris, but I'll just muck it up because I'm going to be reaching up there and not doing it. But you can see here, it's fairly consistent. We're not seeing these heavy variations in the shading of the roasted coffee, right? So there's that. Another one that we can look at here is this is a wash. We're not going to look at that one. Is this washed? Oh, this is washed too. Okay, those are the two washed. I had this one from Tim and this one from Hernan Calderon in Colombia. Wow. Well, that's it. Two wash coffees. Both of them are very nicely sorted. So a lot of it has to do with sorting. You know, some of these, some coffees, depending where they're coming from, depending on the preparation, they could be better sorted or maybe not as well sorted. And you know, if you there's a couple threads here that she continues on. So she calls them up. She's like, hey, you know, there's a problem with my coffee. I don't really like it. And they're like, well, we'll send you a new one. Instead of it being roasted to 420, we're going to roast to 410. And I wonder, when she first started with her first post, right? She lists here, does it look like a 420 light roast? And I'm just like, what for? Oh, sorry. Does it look like a 420 light roast? And I'm just like, 420 light roast? I haven't been roasting coffee that long, but I've never thought of 420 being a light roast. Like, did they say that in their website, that it's a light roast? I think they called it a city, which is accurate to what I know, right? Yeah, city 420, like cinnamon maybe 410. I don't know if 410 would even be that light. Like a lot of guys that I know that are doing this lighter roasts like these. I mean, it's pretty much once they get, some places are extreme, but once they get the first crack, they're stopping. A lot of places will wait till first crack is finishing and then they'll stop, which is where they get these lighter roasts. But 420 is typically you're going. That's really more of where I like to be, right? We're actually moving almost into second crack. So I don't know if I would ever consider 420 to be a light roast, but I could be wrong. It could depend on a variety of factors, the way your roaster's set up, the way that they're doing it. But one of the things that I thought was interesting is that, or disappointing, is this. So she didn't really like it. The roaster said so I was so disappointed with this. It's bitter and tastes like black licorice, which I hate. I can't say that it does. I don't recall it tasting like black licorice, at least the Wush that I had. But you know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's the bottom line. The roaster said the beans are all different shades because of it being mailed here and the heat on the mail truck. Now, the roaster said that the beans are all different shades because of it being mailed here and the heat on the mail truck. Now, that is something, when I read that, I was like, what? What is that, crazy? Craig says it could be air roaster temp. It could be. I didn't really look up if they have any listings about what they do and how they do it. We'll have to look at that. It could be air roasted. But the thing is that, that could be, now that I think about the way that it roasts, it looks like it could be. But anyway, so, you may have a guest or you may have a customer that's unhappy with the coffee, and there's no way of avoiding that eventuality, right? But the crazy thing is that you're going to tell your customer that, oh, the color variation happened because it was hot inside your mail truck. And I was like, oh, that is some sketchy reasoning, I gotta say. That's some sketchy reasoning. But but later, okay, so there's, like I said, there's three separate. Yeah, it's totally BS on that. So there are three separate threads that I have that are part of it. This is finally her last one that she wrote a couple days ago, and there's a whole bunch of stuff to go over. But at the end of the day, she did order a second. Oh, that's right. She did. She called. They sent her another one, which evidently she had to pay for the shipping. This one looks better, right? But that could also be the way that they photographed it. I mean, it looks lighter. It definitely looks a little bit lighter. She also didn't like this as well. It could also be that, at the very end of the day, it could just be that maybe she just doesn't like the coffee. There's that potential part of it, or the style. But she does note in her third post that the people are very nice, right? The owners of the establishment could not be any kinder, hence I would give them 1 star from 5. I mean, however, the coffee is not at all what it should be given the price. I'm so glad it not spurred on. So she's now if we look at, she says that it does say here floral aroma, lively sangria, top notes balanced by intense fruit flavors, chocolate richness, and lingering sweet finish. Which is a rare, low yield coffee varietal that's been featured on Coffee Review's top coffees of the year. So she says that she has some licorice notes, and she doesn't really say what she says that they're burnt black. Yeah, like look at this one. She says here, the beans I got from Coffee by the Roast were not only too dark, but they were unevenly roasted, only too dark. Like there's not, now that we're looking at it more closely, there's nothing really to say that this is too dark. Like this is closer to a medium roast. This one, the second one, is definitely lighter. But she's saying here burnt black. Come on, man. Come on now. Burnt black, not even close to being black. She says, zoom in on the pick. Like, yeah, we zoomed in on the pick. It's definitely darker. Like this one here, look at that. It's definitely a darker shade, but burnt black, come on. That's definitely darker. The first one's definitely darker. Like that would be a little bit darker than if this color is accurate to reality in the photo, I would think that's a little bit darker. And there's could be multiple things that are happening here. Perhaps better quality control by the roaster would be better. I'm not sure how these guys operate. I mean, they're offering you coffee roasted in your selection of roast profiles, and they even said it here. They roast to order. Right here, they roast to order. Each roast is 600 grams of green coffee. You'll receive approximately 18. So what they're doing is, I guess, they are roasting the coffee to order. And you know what, Craig, you're probably right. They're probably doing it in some kind of air roaster to facilitate that. Let's see if they have any indication of how they actually do their roasting. Maybe they're using like a Sono Fresco or something like that, or a smaller roaster. Yeah, it doesn't really say. Oh, about us. How about, oh no, that's still the same thing. Oh, facts. Anyway, okay, so it doesn't, well, I don't know if it's loading or not. Bag says 2022 crop, so there's that. Oh gosh, yeah, that is something to consider as well. So if I didn't really, oh yeah, 2022, 2020, whatever, 23. Well, it could be 2022, 2023, which if it's crossing over that January mark. I mean, that's last year. It is last year's coffee. It would be the same, probably the same batch of the same crop year that I tasted a year ago. So, and if you're selling your coffee for $43 a bag, you're not gonna, and you're not a high volume roaster like that, or you don't have or if you don't have a group of customers that are buying that, yeah, that could be a little bit of an issue. That could be an issue. So I don't know. It looks seem that there's multiple factors happening here. But now that we read a little bit more about her writing, there's a lot of exaggeration, I think, happening here. Black burnt, it's not black. I mean, if you're like if all you drink is coffee from Say, perhaps that's burnt to you, but it's not burnt by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, we'll go through a little bit more, but let's do some brewing. We got some coffee here. Since we pulled out these, let's try them. Let's do this Garces or the cherry Kabandai. Let's do the cherry. I like that. I like the cherry Kabandai. Let's do that. We're going to use this one. This is a cherry Kabandai. This is actually a coffee that was gifted to me by Thomas and Bombi at Coffee Culture Roastery when I was there last year. This is actually from last year. We've had this on the show before, roasted May 30th, 2023. So it's well over a year old, and it says here that the flavor notes that we're expecting or would have expected a year ago are berries, peely nuts, citrus, juicy, intensely sweet. It's a natural anaerobic process. We're using Catimor Arabica coffees with a cinnamon roast and grown at 1470 meters. So let's do that. Let's go check it out. So how are you doing today? Everyone's doing all right? Today we're going to follow 18 grams. Perfect. We're going to do more brewing with the Nel Drip since I busted it out and now have it all set up. We're going to do Nel dripping. We're going to Nel drip this coffee. And like we've been doing with the last couple of days. Let's get our grinder out. We had a pretty good result yesterday. So let's get this grinder here going. So George, what's going on then? Good to see you. So George is asking, I'm curious, was this bag also kept in the freezer over the past year? The answer to that is no. I did not keep these coffees in the freezer. Actually, these were just sitting in a bag. Nice aromatics, but these have just been sitting around. These two have been sitting in a bag. Actually, this bag here that's been sitting on the floor here in the basement. Now it is cool here in the basement for the last 6 months that they've been here, but prior to that, they were just in the roastery, just sitting around. If I was to freeze, the difficult part is that if I was to freeze all the coffees that I have, I wouldn't have any space for anything else, and I'd probably have to buy a bigger freezer. So there's a lot of coffees that just kind of hang out. But this, when you haven't, will it be the peak of its freshness as it was a year ago? No, I wouldn't expect that. But will it still be pleasant and enjoyable? Probably. I mean, there's some nice aromatics coming off of that, nice fruity strawberry notes. No special storage, nothing special. I don't mean this as a flex or anything. There's no way for me to say this without it sounding like that. But when you have a lot of really great coffees, like, how do you decide which one needs to get special attention? Yes, it's hard. And I mean, we're talking about like national champion coffees are just kind of hanging out, just kind of chilling. We're all chilling together here. All right. So let's have a look here at our. We're gonna, of course, as we talked about before, the seam of the Nel Drip goes on the outside. This is the Hario Nel Drip. You can get these with the gooseneck wooden neck kettle, so you can brew into it. So you don't have to do like I'm going to do it and hold it. You can put it into this like kettle, and it will sit there. You can just pour over with it. But let's put the coffee in. Shake, shake, shake. How was Roger Daltrey last night there, George? George went out to see Roger Daltrey at Wolf Trap. All right, so we got our coffee nice, nice, a little bit coarser ground than we would use for the pour over, but this is kind of the style of grind that, they were showing me at Lombre for many years. So, I am a devotee of Ichido Sekiguchi. So, all right, let me just boil this water back up. I like the color of the group. The ground coffee, yeah, the ground coffee it's really nice. Like, coffee culture in Bacolod City is really a wonderful, company, and the friends are owners. The owners are friends of mine, like good friends of mine. They took me around. We hung out together for the couple days that I was in town. Really wonderful people. So, all right, let's get our kettle. I have to note that I've been telling people over the last year or 2 years that, the Cafe de Lambre kettle is made by Kalita, but I was actually wrong. It's made by Harunoda. And I just found his website. I found a website detailing more of that today. And I was like, oh, there it is. So one of our viewers mentioned that in one of the comments somewhere along the way. They're like, it's actually not Kalita. It's actually from this other person. Oh, I didn't know that. I totally had no idea. Oh, it was actually Robert Plant with Alison Krauss. Oh, wow. That sounds wonderful. That's even better, even better. I remember seeing Robert Plant when he was the lead singer for the Power Station way back in the 80s. Good times, good times. All right, so here we go. Let's do some brewing. So we're going to start off with some pulsing. Just to wet the coffee, trying to saturate it without it dripping out of the bottom. Well, now it's starting to drip out of the bottom. I tell you, these coffee masters in Japan, man, they're able to do this, and they put what looks like a tremendous amount of water into the ground, and it doesn't fall out of the filter. It's really quite interesting in that respect. I'd like to think that one day I'd get that technique, but I don't really brew with this as frequently as they do, so that seems like an unlikely proposition. And if you watch my channel, there's a video of me visiting some friends that have a kominka, which is one of those old school Japanese houses that people are getting for songs in Sano, Tochigi Prefecture. My friend Paul, who owns the house, he just posted on his Facebook. He's like, hey, if you're interested, if anyone's interested, there's this really nice kominka that's in need of a bit of work. There was an earthquake that happened not too long ago in the Ishikawa Prefecture, which is on the western coast of Honshu, the main island. And it's on a little peninsula, not too far from Kanazawa. And he's like, this house, 16,000 US dollars. I was like, oh, 16,000. One can dream. One can dream. One of the things that if you watch the video, the idea of getting a kominka is a wonderful idea. Like, of course, it's going to cost you and take you some time to fix it and make it nice. But I think one of the big concerns for me is, like he was telling me as he was building his house, it's not those houses are not well insulated. So in the wintertime, it can be brutally cold inside the house. Like, I think the first couple of years they were just like living in just just refrigerator temperatures in their home. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. All right, so we're going to stop here. Let's do a little bit more. All right. I don't know how long that took us. Just put it back here. There. See, that's the problem. I need to. All right, now we're just going to. Now, if you ever go to Cafe del Hombre and you watch Hayashi Fujihiko do this, he's got this like weird, he's got this really kind of flair to him. I don't know if he noticed. I'm sure he's designed this in his mind. But I don't know. I wonder if he wonders if anyone notices. But I notice he brews. He's like brewing. He's brewing. He's brewing, and then he has this flick. So he flicks it into their sink. It's not that I'm trying to. Not that I would try to copy that, but I just watch it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. You know, everybody has their own little quirkinesses. By the way, did you get the link? Oh, did you get the link that the Cafe de Bola guy was to send you about the siphon brewing? I don't, I don't recall. Do you recall more about what the link was about? Let me look here and see what we can find. No. I don't even remember if I asked. Did I ask him? Was I supposed to ask him? Did I ask him? Maybe I didn't. Or maybe it's on my Facebook account, which I can never check now. On Facebook, I can't check the, look at this thing. Like you guys have Facebook. I don't know if you're experiencing this, but if I press here, nothing. I had to end up installing it on my phone in order to read messages on Facebook messages. So this siphon brewing, what was it supposed to be? Was it about how to brew the siphon? Was that what it was? Okay. If it is, let me know. I'll find a link and send it. Okay. So I've also got this cup today that I thought I would share with you. I think we've used it in the past. This was a cup that was gifted to me by Sara Alali, who is the owner of That Coffee in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The last time I was there, I went to visit her new cafe. At the time, it was brand new, and she gifted this to me. And I was like, oh, I was going to buy one because I saw them on the counter. I was like, oh, that is sexy, right? Like if you look at this, I don't know if you can see this here, but you can see it's a bit translucent, right? If I put this light on it, I guess it's harder to see, but you can kind of see, there we go. You can see there, it's got this translucent character to it. And this is actually, she was telling me about it, and this is actually made by a ceramicist. This is porcelain. So a ceramic artist by the name of Stepanka, who's up in New York City. So Stepanka Ceramics, Stepanka. And she does these really pretty porcelain, super thin, like artwork cups. And so Sara had her make a bunch of them for her. I don't remember. Yeah, here it is, Stepanka. And it's just beautiful, beautiful work. Like I'm totally into it. So gonna heat that up a little bit. They're thin, which means that I'm worried that they're a little bit delicate, but I don't know. I haven't really used it. I used it that one time on a video. I used it for the Christmas video, the gift guide, and I might have used it one more time, and that was it, because I'm a little bit nervous to use them. But I think they're so pretty. There's such a pretty design with the translucency, and then she uses a lot of gold stamping or gold foil or something like that. I just think they're wonderful and really nice and lightweight and delicate. And we're gonna pour it in here. All right. Yeah, hand wash to be sure. Absolutely. Hand wash is the only way to go with this one. All right, so let's have a look here at our elixir. Nice. I think one thing we've seen that, it looks a little bit darker in here. The brewing tends to be a little bit thicker than when I'm using the V60 or the other types of pour overs. But this is the Cherry Kabandai, which is a natural anaerobic process coffee from the Philippines. And it's actually from Purok Pluto in Balutacan, Manaya, which is, I believe, in the southern part of the Philippines. I've not been to that part of the country. And yeah. So let's have a taste here. It's a year old. A little bit of astringency. Still good body. Like you can actually taste the dry cherries. Still, dry cherries are still present. Slightly astringent, good rounded body. Like actually, the body is still nice and strong. Strangely enough. Craig says, I think he was referring to coffee in the top bowl first before the water rises, or add coffee after the water is in the top bowl. He said in a live stream chat that he was going to send you a link. Oh, he did not send me a link. Well, I don't think he sent me a link. Did he send me a link? Thanks for reminding me of that. Let me see. Let me look at my messenger here. You know, the problem is that I have, text messaging, messenger, line, WhatsApp, and maybe another one. And gosh, there's, and people will text me on all of these, and sometimes I just can't. Like one of my friends, Enrique, he's a good friend of mine. I never can find his messages because I'm like, where did he say? Where did we last chat? I don't remember. Yeah, he did. He must have forgotten to send me that. I will. Let me message him right now. My live stream were reminding me or asking about. All right, I sent a message. Hopefully he'll send me a link, and then we can talk about it tomorrow. We can talk about it more tomorrow. So it's 18 grams of beans with the volume of water. So like I said, the recipe is 18 grams of beans, and at Cafe del Hombre, this is Cafe del Hombre's recipe, right? And this is actually the recipe that we kind of followed for the Cafe du Spro, right? And it's good for 50 grams. Oh, wait. Let me see here. I do have notes from my somewhere. I basically have this file where I just kind of like put all of my notes of places to visit in. Okay, here we go. 18 grams for 50 milliliters or 100 milliliters, right? Or you can also do, 18 grams for 50 milliliters. The normal is 100 milliliters. So that's for the larger cup at Lombre. They will also do a thicker brew of 28 grams for 75 milliliters. And that's what Nakadishi Naldo told me about. He's the younger guy that works at Lombre. So you can use this, but on the vessel, this is not cheap. You have to be crazy. You have to be crazy to buy this. But this little brewing kettle, this copper kettle, actually has hash marks here. Can you see that? I don't even know if I can see that on the screen. Yeah, they're actually really difficult. They're really difficult to see in person. But they're right here. Yeah, you can see it right there. Okay, so there are these hash marks. These kind of tell you how much there are. So, but the 18 grams can be used for 50, 80, or 100. So if you go to Lombre and depending what you order, they will use that same amount of coffee to ratio up, right? So they sell some larger cups of coffee, like when I say larger, like a regular coffee cup, teacup kind of size. That John was just replying. And so that one is I can't remember what I'm saying anymore. Oh, right. So it's like a regular cup, like cup, 4-ounce cup. And then the other ones are so you can order coffee at Ombre, and they come in cups similar to this, like 30, 50 mils, 60 mils. And you'll just, sip it there. Like a lot of the coffees that I order, they prepare that way. So the brew is a lot more concentrated, a little bit more intense in that respect. So this one, I only brewed it to If you recall, I only brewed it to about there. So that means that this is a lot more intensity in the cup, right? Peter, what's going on, man? You may be late, but you're always welcome. Always welcome. I recall you showing some markers the inside, but not in relation to the actual volume of water. So let's actually, I was thinking about this before, and we can do this right now. We're going to take this, and we're going to see just exactly how much it will. Why should be taking that off? And all right. So what I'm going to do is there are how many hash targets? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hash marks on this thing here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it to each of the hash marks, and we can see just how much water it's holding. Remember, if we're talking about milliliters and grams, their volume and weight are the same with water. All right, to the first hash mark, 36. So about 30 milliliters there. Oh, that's good to know. These are something I've never done before. 85, so about 80 here. Next hashtag, 130. 185. There we go. There it is, 185. So maximum, now if we want to take it all the way up, let's say we take it all the way up. There is no more hashtags after this point on the thing, but let's say we want to go up almost to the rim. 239. So at 235. So that's pretty much, there it is. That's the hash mark. So now I know the first one is for 30, the next one is for 80. Next one's for 135. Is that right? Did I say that correctly? And then we always return our water to our brewing kettle. Mom, good morning to you. Good to see you. How are you doing? We've been talking about coffee and coffee. First with a complaint online from one of the forums where the person was like, "Okay, we ordered this coffee. It's a natural process, whoosh whoosh from Ethiopia, and it's unevenly roasted, and that's an issue. And like, it looks kind of weird. That could be an issue. It's flavor she doesn't like, and that could be an issue." But then later she's describing it as though it was black and burnt. And it's like, that's not quite burnt. So there's probably a little bit of miscommunication there. All right, so he says he'll send you some after. John just messaged me back. He said, "I'll send you some of the links after he gets back from wherever he's going." So probably have those links for you tomorrow, so we can finally get those out there. All right, I don't really have anything else more. So we're back again tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. If you have time tonight, it is Thursday, so on the Ono Live channel is our weekly Thursday night hang with coffee and cigars. So if you have the time, come join us 8 p.m. on the Ono Live channel. I'll actually have the link active probably within the hour. But yeah. Oh, George, by the way, before we take off, I see that Jose Blanco's in town. Are we going to get to see that guy sometime? All right, let me know. All right, so hope you guys have a great one. Yeah, until tomorrow, 10 a.m. I picked those out the Blum. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way. But, she's paying $43 for a bag of 16 ounces of coffee. You'd like to, even I would like to see it better sorted, at that price. All right, have a great one, everyone. See you tomorrow.